30 great games, winter fun!
It's time for the Family Party 30 Great Games Winter Fun Review for the Wii. Now here's a fact about me. I generally try to stay away from games that have a similar title to this game. You know, any title that has the number of games the disc or cartridge has to offer players. Just look at Action 52 for the NES, or even the Genesis version. There are others like this, and so I didn't have high hopes for this game, and I'm glad I didn't, because you know what? The game sucks! When you first start, you'll get to choose between Challenge Mode, Battle, or Co-op. In Challenge Mode, up to 6 players will play 4 different games based on the area you select, such as Mountain Area, Slope Area, etc., and whoever scores the most points out of the total games wins. Battle Mode is basically the same thing, except only up to 4 players can play, and you get to select which games to play, and Co-op puts you and your friends against the computer AI to compete in various games. Okay, now let's talk about the games. I will say most of the games themselves aren't bad. They're mostly standard winter games you'd see in the Winter Olympics. But how you control them is where it gets painful. Not to say all of them control very poorly, but most of them do. All of them use either the Wiimote or Wiimote Nunchuck combo, and I'm only going to talk about a few of them in detail. One of the biggest problems that we all agreed on was that there is too much information to be read for a simple minigame. Like, give me a break! Why does speed skating have so much detail and various controls? Look at this! Why does there have to be different styles of skating? This is a minigame! It shouldn't have to be this complicated, especially when the controls are unresponsive. You're supposed to swing the Wiimote up and down rapidly to dash, and in a slower pace to glide. But it doesn't work well and you end up falling on your face! And the way they fall is so awkward. They'll fall over and it's like they're a gummy worm or a fish flopping everywhere. And if you hadn't noticed, why in the world is multiplayer set up this way? Whoever is in first gets a larger screen, but then the other players get these tiny boxes? And what's worse is whenever someone passes another player, say like the third place player passes the second place player, the person in third will jump to the second place box and vice versa for the other player. But sometimes it's difficult to tell when you pass someone, and it's even more difficult to tell when someone has passed you. Oh wait, all of a sudden I'm in this box now? Do you realize just how frustrating that crap is? So now let's go to cross-country skiing. Again, there's a lot of text to read for the tutorial. What gets me is how to steer most of the time. To move to the left and right, you have to hold down Z or B respectively. When you're sliding downward, you twist the Wiimote to the right and left to move in either direction. Why can't I just use the analog stick and the nunchuck? I know the publishers were trying to incorporate the motion controls as much as possible, but come on! Innovation is not the right path to take if your end product is crap. Look at this footage. Does it look like responsive controls? Haha, no! The next one is cliff climbing. My brother and sister will probably say it's one of the better controlled games, but Lizzie and I still had a difficult time with it. It's again due to the controls. You're supposed to use B and Z simultaneously with the swing of the Wiimote or nunchuck to climb, then releasing them at the right time to use your other controller, but it can get complicated and confusing. Why can't it just be an alternating swing of the Wiimote and nunchuck to climb with the analog stick to steer, instead of a combination of swings with B and Z? The next game is curling. The controls aren't really the issue for this game, it's just the amount of time it takes to complete it. It took over 16 minutes for us to complete this game. That's way too long for a minigame. It got boring really fast. The only complaint I have with the controls is that it can be really difficult in getting your rocks to slide at a speed that is less than full. You're supposed to thrust your Wiimote forward to make it slide, but the sensors rarely pick up motion unless you really jab the Wiimote forward with a lot of force. I remember playing Digimon World for the PS1, and it had a curling minigame in it that took less than 5 minutes to complete, and that was way more fun than this version of curling. The last game I'll talk about in detail is my brother's favorite game, Footprint. The point is to count a specific set of footprints in the snow and try to guess how many were in the snow in a set time limit. It seems like the developers were getting desperate in coming up with minigames. It was confusing right at the start. See, it says count the number of footprints that appear on the screen. Well, do you mean this or this? That is technically a footprint, so this picture technically has 2 footprints. But the game doesn't tell you that it wants you to count this as 1 footprint. But since we didn't know that, we tried to count every single one instead of the pair the game wants you to count. But then when we finally knew what to do, it's still difficult in determining how many footprints there are because the camera moves back and forth throughout the area, and you're not sure if you counted certain footprints already. Like here, the camera just moved back to this previous spot, so are we supposed to count these footprints twice? I wouldn't think so, but it never seemed like any of us could get near the actual number of footprints. Bottom line, this minigame sucks. The graphics suck too. Textures are blocky with little detail. This looks like an N64 game. Now to be fair, some of the minigames aren't bad. Like ski jumping controls okay, and is kind of fun. Slip drop controls easily, and the physics seem to be realistic. And Snowtube wasn't bad either. But like I said earlier, most of the games don't control well, and when the controls don't control, it's really hard to get any enjoyment out of a game. There are unlockable minigames by completing a set list of minigames, but it's really not worth it. Family Party 30 Great Games Winter Fun is not fun. Bad graphics, the majority of the minigames have bad or complicated or sometimes both controls, barely a scratch of replay value, and the game can get pretty boring fast. Now some of the minigames do control pretty well, and we had a little bit of fun out of those, but still, this game isn't worth your time. Parents, don't be suckered in by getting this and thinking you're getting 30 great games for a low price. You're not. In fact, I can only think of one good reason to get this game.
Oh, Jenkins. Yes, sir. I fancy myself a soda pop. Right away, sir. The master requires a soda pop. Right away. Master's drink. Thank you. Your drink, sir.
Thank you, Jenkins. Oh, Jenkins, aren't you forgetting something?
Oh, my sincerest apologies, sir.
Thank you, Jenkins. Here, go buy yourself something nice like a yacht.
Thank you, sir. You're all too generous.
This game gets a 1 out of 5 with the title of Horrible.
I did it!
It's cold.
And
Oh my god. Look,
turn it off.
Look at your beard.
Jenkins.
Yes, sir.
Do it again.
Wow.
That was good. Oh man, this is gonna take forever. Oh, Jenkins.
Yes, sir. Come on.
Okay, don't move.
I'm trying to act like
Jeffrey.
Jeffrey from yeah.
Yes, Master Freak.
Yes, Master Freak.
Oh, Jenkins.
Don't laugh already.
Come on.
I can't help it. All right. Oh my. Oh, Jenkins.
Yes, sir. Come
God
on.
dang it!
Oh, Jenkins.
Come on!
That was him.
His face.
I can't anymore, guys.
I'm done!
I can't.
Can you explain what just happened?
Okay, so Red, all of us were playing, and Red didn't understand what the point of the, or like.
Wait. We accidentally skipped the controls. We accidentally skipped the controls.
Okay, yeah. So we accidentally skipped the controls, and we were trying to count everything, and Red didn't know what to do, so he just started raging on the game.
Like this.
And somehow he won by doing that. We were all counting the footprints, but he won by doing that. But it turned out...
You can't see it now. But we got like the exact same amount of points.
It was 660.
For the entire game.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was 666.
Yeah.
We have no idea just what
We don't know what just
We
happened.
have no idea. The game like tells you nothing.
It sucks.
This game sucks.